Welcome to the Ankylosing Spondylitis podcast, hosted by me, Jason Sacco. I'm a 35-year plus spondy looking to bring the community closer. I'll be reaching out to organizations, doctors, nutritionists, and anyone that I think can help increase our spondy quality of life. Hello and welcome to the Ankylosing Spondylitis podcast. This is Jason Sacco, your host. Before we start this episode, let's get a little housekeeping stuff done. If you would, I'd love for you to go to listen to episode 3, my interview with Vinnie Tortorich. If you're a coffee drinker, go on to my website, the Ankylosing Spondylitis podcast.podbean.com, and access the Pure Coffee Club to order Vinnie's special coffee right directly delivered to you. Also, if you're a vitamin taker, he's got Pure Vitamin link there. And then there's also a link for the CBD Pure Oil, which is a great CBD oil. Both of those contribute a small commission for anything purchased. It doesn't affect your price, but they give a small little commission back to help keep the website going. Any support you do from that, I really appreciate it. It's because of folks like you that are going through AS like I am that I do this show. So let's jump into today's episode. I've been thinking about doing this for a while and kind of been sitting on it. You know, I look on the boards and I see a lot of questions about, oh, I'm going to start this particular biologic or that biologic. And I always see people jump in, and maybe they're well-meaning when they do it, but they start rattling off potential side effects, and they say it like it's a guarantee you're going to get it. Or others come on and say, I'm not willing to try it because of this side effect or this side effect. That's certainly fine. You're the driver of your medical condition, and what I'm about to say is entirely, based upon my experiences. Please consult with your doctors. This is not medical advice. But I want to do a little episode on biologics, what they are, and how do you know if they're right for you. Now, hopefully you've got a really good rheumatologist you're working with, and he or she is working with you to help control your pain. For those of you out there that have really mild AS, beginning stages of it, maybe an over-the-counter medication will work for you, an Aleve or a Motrin or an Advil, something along those lines. That might control it, that might keep it at bay for the time being. But what happens when you get into a more severe case like what I have? And again, I relate these items to me, hoping that you can then take them away and apply it to you. I'm also going to say the name of these biologics by their publicly known name. I'm not going to give their scientific name because I just can't pronounce most of them. So anyway, there's 6 types of biologics out there, and we can look at how they affect AS and the treatment. The 6 types of biologics are Humira or Cimzia, Enbrel, Simponi, Remicade, and finally Cosentyx. If you're not familiar with any of these, please go and talk to your doctor. And so when you look at biologics, the doctors generally should be looking at saying, what worked best for you? Were you able to keep it in check, the AS, with over-the-counter medications? If not, what's the next step? Because all of these biologics work slightly different, but the net result is they're trying to control the same thing, which is pain. One is, can you keep up with the scheduled treatments? Some of them you have to go to your doctor's office to get the shot or treatment. Others you can do yourself. I happen to be on Cosentyx. I give myself the shot once a month. Some folks ask, well, once I take a biologic, am I done with all my other medications? Generally, no. And you can take other medications with a biologic, but again, your doctor will tell you what to take, what not to take, how to take the dosages. So that's really going to be a question that you're going to deal with your rheumatologist. There are some people that should not take biologics. If you have a compromised immune system, you don't want to take a biologic, most likely. And that can be things like, if you've been treated previously for cancer, if you have HIV or a hepatitis, those could be conditions that preclude you or remove you from being able to take biologics. One of the main cancers you look at with biologics is lymphoma. Again, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get it. I don't even know what the odds are that folks that take it will get it. It's something you need to know, probably because lawyers have put that in there, but it's something that you do need to know about. If you're on a biologic and you experience excessive bruising, weight loss, fatigue, anything like that, get in and see the doctor quick. Don't let that drag on. So then, what should I know before? Well, the biologic's not a quick fix. It's got to get into your system. It has to work and attack however the proteins it goes after, and it's only part of it. You do need to keep active. I tell everybody this, and I'm a walking bad example of it, is you need to try to keep the weight off. I am down about 11 pounds so far this year, which is not a lot, but I just keep pushing. I need to drop at least 20 to 30 more pounds myself just to take some of that stress off of my hip implants. So, when you look at the biologic, it could take some time to see any type of significant difference with the condition. So just know it's not going to happen right away, and it's going to take some time. So make sure as you get it into your system, you keep up with the treatments, and then whatever the doctor says, whatever he or she points you towards with the biologics, make sure you continue to do them. Now, what is a biologic and how does it actually work? What is it looking for? Well, with the biologics, there's the basic meds like the NSAIDs, which are anti-inflammation drugs like Aleve, ibuprofen, Motrin. But with the biologic, you get in there and you're looking to attack certain proteins that your body makes. For Humira, Cimzia, Enbrel, and I'm probably pronounced that wrong, I apologize, Simponi and Remicade, they are what are called TNF inhibitors. TNF stands for tumor necrosis factor. They get in there, and these are cells that generally help your body, but if you have AS generally means your body is making too much of it, and then they go look for things to do. So normally TNFs can protect your body from infections, cancers, things of that nature, but when they have an overactive system like AS and it produces excess amounts, that leads directly to chronic inflammation. So TNF blockers, like the medications I listed, will get in there and start to knock those TNFs down, bring the levels down, and therefore control or reduce or stop inflammation. The other one is Cosentyx. Cosentyx targets a different protein. It's called the interleukin 17 or IL-17. This is a protein that's responsible for many biological functions, including inflammation. Cosentyx, as it blocks it, like the other drugs, it stops the cycle of inflammation and relieves symptoms, but it can also stop the damage to your joints. So if you're hesitant about trying biologics, talk to your doctor, because if your joints haven't gone bad yet, this can be a great way to help potentially save them or at least reduce the damage to them. Most biologics come in a shot form. Some come through a transfusion. I've only had the ones that have been shots, Enbrel, Humira, and now Cosentyx. So I've never done any of the transfusion ones, so I can't speak to those, but I did give myself shots for all the other ones. You also keep an eye out for any allergic reactions when taking a biologic. That can be the swelling of your face, your lip, your tongue, difficulty breathing, any type of thing that could look like an anaphylaxis. Get in and see a doctor, get to a hospital, whatever you need to do to get it taken care of. And then, again, as we look at the options, we have the TNF blockers, and then we have the IL-17 inhibitor, which is the Cosentyx. None of these are an overnight cure. None of them are a cure to begin with. But once you get them in your system, it can take 4 to 12 weeks to start to feel the effects of them. For me on Cosentyx, it was probably 3 to 4 weeks. With that drug, you have to do 5 shots in 5 weeks to kind of front load your system. And by about the third or fourth shot, I was starting to feel much, much better. There is no specific way to find out which biologic treatment is best for you without talking to your doctor and going ahead and maybe trying one or out at a time and seeing what works best. When I started, I was on Enbrel, worked well for a few months, and then just stopped. We switched to Humira, worked well for a few months, and then stopped. So for a number of years, I rotated back and forth between the two. I'd take them, give myself a 2 or 3 month window, and then start back up on the opposite one of what I had been taking. That worked for a while, but it wasn't the best. So as you look, remember, if you have tuberculosis or hepatitis B or C, any other infections, have had cancer, biologics might not be the best treatment for you. You might just not be a candidate. So you have to understand that. If you're on the fence about them, get more information. If you're living in pain, but you have a doctor sitting there telling you, here's a way I can help you reduce your pain. The side effects are important to be aware of, but don't take the pain over a potential of, don't take the quantity of life over the quality of life. What good is it living if you're in exceedingly high amounts of pain day by day by day? Get your life back. Biologics haven't been around that long, so we don't have, since 88, so they've been out around 30 some odd years. But again, talk to your doctor. He or she is going to be able to provide you with the right way to look at the biologics, the right biologic for you to start and try, and then they're going to be able to monitor your blood work so that you know how you're progressing with any of the biologics. Some of this information came from a series of Healthline articles that will be in the show notes. If you have questions on just my reactions and interactions with biologics, please feel free to email me. Keep up the great work on the forums talking about it. But I would encourage you just watch the whole thing about you're going to get this. I see some language like that. You don't know, and I don't know what people will or won't get in taking biologics. So don't scare them into not talking to their rheumatologist. Their best place to get information for this disease is with their rheumatologist. So anyway, I like this little bit of a shorter format. I hope you guys like it. I really enjoy hearing from you. You all have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your summer. For those of us that are in the summer, for those of you at the winter that are heading into the spring, congratulations. And I can't wait to hear from you and interact with you online. Take care and have a wonderful day.